Have you ever wondered, why bother with philosophy? It's not like it's going to help me creating a LinkedIn profile to find a job. Neither is going to help me to find a boyfriend. Hello, my name is Claudia, and I will be sharing with you the profound wisdom of Stoicism and its great relevance, especially for young people's mental health. In a world where everything is distractions, pressures, and emotional turmoil, Stoicism stands up as a way to navigate life with resilience, creating a solid foundation for mental health. So, since I was younger, I always asked myself, why is everyone worrying so much about mundane things? I mean, some pressures or social media. It's like, I'm not worrying about that. Then I remember I have started reading philosophy some years before, and maybe people as Marcus Aurelius who said, we have power over ourselves, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Could have had some influence on me, and then my life got a Stoic approach and my lifestyle changed. So, if you have ever woken up in the day of a big exam, checked your phone, and within minutes you are bombarded with last-minute study tips, reminders, messages from anxious classmates, and you have felt overwhelmed, I can tell you, for your own benefit, that there's a philosophy that could help you remain calm and composed, no matter what life or exam throws at you. This philosophy is Stoicism. Stoicism was created in ancient Greece in the early 3rd century before Christ by Zeno of Citium. It flourished in the Roman Empire thanks to the job of great thinkers as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, or Epictetus. This man lived in times of political upheaval and personal hardship. So imagine they had Twitter back then. Imagine their tweets. Another day, another barbarian invasion. #stay stoic. Yet, despite all these challenges, they managed to find inner peace and strength through the principles of Stoicism. Starting up with Marcus Aurelius, he was the most important person of his times. He was the Roman emperor. However, he had to deal with some challenges, as the death of 9 of his 13 children, the death of his wife, even having to face a pandemic all over his empire. Marcus Aurelius found tranquility in whatever situation. He wrote Meditations, a book that changed my life. Now, imagine being one of the greatest minds of your times, a revered philosopher, an orator, a statesman, but constantly being thrown into chaos. This means political rivalry, exile, even having to face the possibility of a brutal death. This was the reality of Seneca, one of the greatest minds of his times. As I have said before, he had to deal with exile, with political rivalry, and he had to take his own life by Nero's orders. He was the advisor of Nero. So imagine the weight of being the advisor of a young emperor and knowing that he's becoming day after day into an awful tyrant, and knowing that your counsel will be disregarded at any moment. So Seneca found peace and tranquility because he was a Stoic. He wrote Letters to Lucilius, a book where he encourages to practice the fact of imagining the worst-case scenario, not to deal in fear, but to develop resilience. It was about preparedness, not about pessimism. By imagining the loss of wealth, status, even life, Seneca found freedom. So if we know that and accept that the suffering and change are inevitable, we will no longer be slaves to anxiety. Next, we can talk about Cicero, who was a man who was an orator and passionately defended the ideals of the Roman Republic. Even he talked about freedom, law, and justice, but he has to deal with a lot of challenges. We can also talk about Epictetus, who was a Roman slave. He was born in Hierapolis, but as he started reading and talking about philosophy as an Stoic, he was liberated. So this is very important because it gives us the opportunity of thinking, okay, so Stoicism isn't about rich people or a part of a society. It is about everyone. Everyone, since an emperor, a statesman, even a slave, could be a Stoic. And this is very important, because Stoicism isn't about human condition, it is about human nature. So, what wants Stoicism teach us? At its core, Stoicism is based in the dichotomy of control. This means distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. So what we can control are feelings, emotions, desires, actions, intentions, motivations. We have no control over our reputation, our bodies, or our death. So instead of focusing on outcomes beyond our influence, we should focus on what we can control. This is Stoicism. So it is inspiring how many people of you may have passed sleepless nights worrying whether you will be promoted or whether the person you love reciprocates your feelings. As Stoic, I'm sorry, but we'll find you stupid. Because if we cannot control other people's feelings and emotions and decisions, why losing energy on them? Here's where it gets even more interesting. Modern research backed this up. A 2018 research made by Cognitive Therapy and Research talks about how people who practice Stoic-inspired techniques as meditation showed up lower levels of anxiety and depression. So in a world where everything is a depiction of a world of anxiety and depression, there is an infallible solution: Stoicism. So by adopting a Stoic approach, young people could navigate social media without constantly comparing themselves to others. By surfing the internet, he will say, okay, I cannot control what other people post, but I can control how I react to it. This is Stoicism. Before the end, something must be understood. Stoicism has no intention of being a type of therapy technique. It is a life philosophy, not a therapy. This means it cannot be used as a way to find solutions to problems, but to directly don't find those problems. In the same way, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending that everything's okay. It's about knowing that you can control your response. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed by exams, you're trying to create your LinkedIn profile to find a job, you don't find any job, you're waiting for a perfect man and Prince Charming doesn't appear, remember Marcus Aurelius' words. We have power over our minds, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Thank you.